What's going on, guys? It is Generation Ring. We got a couple of interesting stories to talk about today. The first story that I've got for you guys: name a new date for the fight between Charles Oliveira and Benil Dariush. A challenge fight between Charles Oliveira and Benil Dariush, postponed due to an injury to the Brazilian, is scheduled to take place on June 10 at UFC 289 in Vancouver. This American fighter said in an interview with the Chomo. They said they will set the fight for June 10, but I still don't have a contract, so I'm not sure about it. But that's what they told me, June 10, said Dariush. I said if he pulled out again, I want a title shot, and they said it would. 2 days earlier, the lightweight bout was eliminated from the UFC 288 card, which will take place on May 6 in Newark. The last time the two fighters fought was last October at UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi, where Oliveira failed to capture the vacant UFC lightweight championship belt, losing to Makhachev via a second-round arm triangle choke. And Dariush scored his 8th straight win by unanimous decision against Matthews Gamrot. The winner of this confrontation should share the octagon with the reigning division champion Islam Makhachev on October 21 at UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi. Next up, Benil Dariush criticized Charles Oliveira. Lightweight contender Benil Dariush believes Charles Oliveira's injury that caused the bout to be postponed was due to the Brazilian fighter's lack of focus and motivation. All this time I watched him and saw how he either gets a huge title on his back or fails to Australia for the fight between Makhachev and Volkanovski. It didn't look like he was focused and motivated, Sportskida quotes the American. And then he jumped into training camp without being focused and motivated, and tried to make up for lost time. In such situation, injury is most likely. That's what happened to him, I think. Motivation is great importance for a fighter. If you are not motivated, it is very difficult to get into the fight. Dariush previously announced that his fight with Oliveira, excluded from the UFC 288 card, will take place on June 10 at UFC 289 in Vancouver. Representatives for the UFC have not yet made any statements on this matter. Next up, the fight between Ilia Topuria and Josh Emmett may be postponed. The featherweight bout between Ilia Topuria and Josh Emmett could take place a week later than expected. The bout, which was scheduled to headline UFC Fight Nights in Las Vegas on June 17, will reportedly be the main event of UFC on ABC 5 on June 24 in Jacksonville, Florida. The reasons for the postponement of the fight are not reported. Ilia Topuria, 26, is undefeated and has an impressive 13 professional winning streak, 5 of which he won in the UFC, finishing 4 of his opponents. The Spanish-Georgian fighter had his last fight in December last year, defeating Bryce Mitchell by arm triangle choke. Josh Emmett, 38, made an unsuccessful bid for the interim UFC featherweight championship in February, losing by triangle choke in the second round to Yair Rodriguez. Prior to that, the American had not lost for 5 years and went on a series of 5 victories. Josh Emmett and Ilia Topuria are currently ranked 5th and 9th in the UFC featherweight rankings, respectively. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like the video, subscribe our channel, and hit the bell button. Until next time, stay well.